Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. I appreciate all y'all for being on here and being a part of the conversation. All right, we got some things to talk about. This is something that has been brewing for the past, week now, and it's now come to some seriously bad news, and it's really, really not great. So we got to get into some things, but I wanted to talk to you guys about this. I just didn't know it was going to turn this way. It turned in such a dramatic and such a sad way. Okay. And we got to talk about this. This has to do with Heche. Okay. Also, because if I could put more words in the title down below, I would have said Johnny Depp supporter and Ellen DeGeneres ex-girlfriend or ex-partner, Anne Heche, right? But there wasn't, and DeGeneres is such a long last name. That's such a long last name. A lot of E's, by the way, in that last name. So I would have said a whole lot more, okay, in that title. But I was like, okay, she is a Johnny Depp supporter. She did support Johnny Depp during this trial. She did kind of poke her head in a interview with Andy on Popcorn Planet. She was in the movie Donnie Brasco, which she was absolutely fantastic in. All right. She said that he was an amazing actor and an amazing person to work with. Okay. So on and so on. So yes, I could have said a whole lot more. There's a lot, obviously, to unfold. So now here it is. Okay. Obviously, we're getting into the meat and potatoes of everything. So I wanted to give you guys show you guys a clip. This is a short, very short clip, but I wanted to show you guys just from the news what was said. And then we have a sky view, like helicopter view of her actual rescue. It took 50 some odd firefighters to get her out of this particular house. And of course, I'm getting ahead of myself, but this actress, Anne Heche, got into her car. Allegedly, she was deeply inebriated. She was under the influence of many things, which we are going to look at the reports here in a second here too. And she drove her car into an actual house. The car that she was in caught on fire. The house caught on fire. She was stuck inside that car. Firefighters were able to rescue her, pulling her out of the car. But unfortunately, it ended up having some really bad results 7 days later. All right. So we got to get into this. Let's take a look at this. This is like I said, this is just the beginning. This is just kind of an announcement about what happened. We're going to take a look at some sky footage as well here shortly. So please do me a favor. All right. Please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below and let's get into it. Hit that subscribe button too, y'all.
Say it happened late Friday morning after Heche's Mini Cooper was spotted. Actress Anne Heche is in critical condition today after a fiery car crash in Los Angeles on Friday. That's according to our NBC station there. Police say it happened late Friday morning after Heche's Mini Cooper was spotted speeding down a residential street, apparently hitting a curb before it was launched 30 feet into a home where it caught on fire. The 53-year-old Heche, who once dated Ellen DeGeneres, has appeared in numerous TV and film roles.
I mean, she's been in a bunch of stuff, right? And she was in a very, very serious partnership or a serious relationship with Anne Heche with Ellen DeGeneres, for about 3 years before they split up. And I know that she's had her own fits with drugs and alcohol, her own, battles with those things, her own inner demons. I know that she's also a survivor and all that, like I said, this is extremely, extremely, extremely sad. But I wanted to show you guys the Sky Fox footage, which is absolutely insane. Okay, to me, this is wow. Okay, and I know that there's a ring camera. There's a ring camera footage of her car whizzing down the road. I mean, it's going 100+ miles an hour down the road. It's insane. But unfortunately, I can't show you that one because it's owned by TMZ. So I can't use that one, unfortunately. But there's a lot. There's a lot that's going down on this. So let's take a look at this. The Sky Fox footage of her car inside of this house. And I'm going to be skipping through it because we don't need to see the whole thing. But there's a part near the end that's just like, whoa, it's insane. Something I don't think anybody, even I think the guy who's in the helicopter, has ever seen before. So let's take a look at this really quick.
Just let me know when we're live, please. Who? That's what I kind of like when I said, "Oh my gosh," I overheard a piece, but maybe I misunderstood. It sounded like there's a victim under the car as well.
Oh yeah, like I said, this is crazy. Okay, there is somebody else that had some injuries as well, suffered some injuries as well. And like I said, this went from being just a like this car accident type of thing, it turning into the charges started to grow even more because they found out more information about what was in her system, so on and so forth. But I'm going to skip up ahead a little bit more.
Is that the fire pretty much out? That's just a lot of smoke right now. And some of these firefighters are actually talking about how they can see through that hole. They can see straight down and actually see that vehicle. Once that smoke clears, we'll definitely give that a shot with Sky Fox. Right now, though, we're hoping and waiting to see a victim come out of that house. How they're going to do it, that is the big question. You can see right there, that's going to be heavy rescue. That's what they're going to use to pull that car out of there. That's an amazing machine, by the way. Huge fan of LA City Fire, but even more so of their equipment and I call them their toys, but these are definitely no toys. Most everything they use is life-saving and also property-saving equipment. That thing right there, amazing. It looks like a big giant tow truck, but it does so much more than just being a tow truck. Gas line or electrical lines inside that home, and maybe the car didn't catch fire, maybe the house caught fire after that vehicle smashed into it. I'm actually seeing firefighters down there through the hole, so I'm going to make an effort here to see what we can see. But again, I'm not too hopeful that we're going to be able to see anything. But I'm going to give it a shot while we are waiting to see what they're going to be doing here.
Now, what's nuts is what I'm about to show you guys here just about now. When they pull out somebody, they pull somebody out from the rubble. Take a look at this.
Or down. So I was hopeful for a while, thinking that maybe that driver would be able to be rescued. If there was smoke inhalation, perhaps he'll have the window up or something, shielding himself from that smoke. But right now, it definitely looks like just the lack of urgency. The lack of urgency right now is really, it's really sad. There's a good possibility that whoever was inside that vehicle has passed away. And again, you're not really even seeing them make entry into the car. I have to believe me, I am listening to what these guys are talking about.
Crazy.
Oh, maybe they're bringing them out the other side. We just can't see it because, yes, they got them out the passenger side. Thank God. And this is the first time we're going to see this victim.
Wait for it. This is wild.
It doesn't look that good, but
no,
it does look terrible.
She looks like she's in bad shape, y'all.
And we'll just see if maybe they're just moving him out of there, or if they put him in an ambulance. That's some sort of sign. But yes, so basically the activity that we were looking for, that anxious or that quick moving, that was going on the other side of the vehicle. Oh my gosh, he's completely alive.
That right there is Heche. That's Heche getting up. Like the shock, I'm sure, I don't know. Maybe the substances that are in her body, God knows what. But I'm going to roll that back just a little bit. I mean, even the Sky Fox, guy, okay, is reacting in such a big way. Like, what? Just surprised, right?
That anxious or that quick moving that was going on the other side of the vehicle. Oh my gosh, he's completely alive. He was trying to get away. He was. I don't know. That was really, really strange.
Yeah.
And that's what we love about breaking news here in Los Angeles is right when you think you've seen it all, something else happens.
No kidding. Now, that's that is some of the footage that we've seen so far, right? That's some stuff that we've seen so far. And the thing is you see the car. I'm gonna show you some of the footage of the actual car here in a second. And you tell me, is it something that you think somebody can just survive? I mean, it's scary to think that this is what the car looked like. Okay, this is what the car looked like after this crash. Look at that, right? And they were able to pull her out. The car was on fire, and then the whole house was on fire. Again, she was driving down the road. She was blazing down the road at the top in about 100 miles an hour, and then her car launched into this house and then got set on fire. So the impact alone, the fire, all that stuff, you can only imagine, right? At least I can only imagine. It's insane. All right. I got a couple super chats really quick before we go into this other thing. Local Trees, thank you so much for the 5. I appreciate it. Thank you for content. Thank you for just being here and supporting, man. I really do appreciate it. Local Trees, appreciate it. I think I had another one in here real quick. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, imagine, okay? Imagine that being your day. Apparently, she was in a podcast. She was hanging out on a podcast, drinking on the podcast. Actually, that's something I forgot to get right there. Yes. Now, this also is, here, just real quick, says here, Anne Heche was drinking copious amounts of vodka and wine in podcast before crash. She was also reportedly slurring her speech just hours before the crash. Now, obviously, this is a few days old, but they say that, she's fighting for her life after this terrible crash. A picture of Heche was released by one of her friends, but further details about that day were reported by both CNN and TMZ. They had a clip of her slurring her words in her Better Together podcast that has been taken down since they cited inaccurate reporting. But the audio is very clear with the actress stating she was drinking copious amounts of vodka with wine chasers after having a terrible day. Although she didn't specify the reason she was having such a terrible day, her reps later stated this clip was taken days before the crash. Okay. So maybe the timeline isn't completely right. However, this is conflicting information because a criminal investigation is still ongoing. Like I said, there was somebody else that was injured. They found out that there was liquor in her system. There's a photo that's even on my thumbnail where there allegedly is a little flask, little bottle of vodka in in one of her cup holders. All right, sitting there right next to her. I mean, it's insane to think that any of this happened, right? And they say that photo was taken hours before the actual crash. All right. And Darcy even says, yeah, the podcast was 3 days before the crash. So they were sitting there saying that maybe she was just on a bender. Maybe she was on a couple days of just straight drinking, right? And there's some people who do that. Once they get started, they get back into that habit. It's just like, hey, I gotta, they just keep drinking. They keep pounding them back. They keep doing their thing. Now, this is what they're saying. Okay, this is what they're allegedly saying, that this was hours before. But of course, we're hearing that their timeline is not right. But let's take a look.
New
at this
details
real quick.
tonight about the fiery car crash involving actress Anne Heche. A source close to her says she is lucky to be alive after what happened on Friday. LA police say her car was traveling at high speed when it ran off the road and crashed into a house. Apparently, no one inside was hurt, but the source says Heche suffered severe burns and faces a long road to recovery. CNN's Chloe Malash joins me now. So, Chloe, what more do we know about Heche's condition tonight?
Good evening, Pamela. A representative for Anne tells CNN that she is in stable condition. They are asking for prayers. They're also asking for privacy during this time. She is still hospitalized. And as far as we know, authorities have not been able, Pamela, to interview her yet about what led up to this crash other than these high speeds and why, because of her condition. So many questions left unanswered right now in the 48 hours since this crash occurred, and such a scary situation. We know it took over 50 firefighters to extract her, not only from the car, but put the flames out in the home. There was an owner or a person in the home when it happened. A neighbor of hers spoke to one of our affiliates saying that Anne's car was just a few feet away from this individual when the car went through the home. And we also know that it took over 30 minutes to get Anne Heche out of the car.
Wow. And CNN has obtained audio of Heche joking about drinking in an episode of her podcast that was posted the same day of the crash.
Now, that's the thing with the mainstream media, right? That's the thing with media in general. If the other people who represent Anne Heche are saying that this podcast, the timeline of when this podcast was actually recorded is wrong. But if it was done 3 days before, maybe she was on a bender where she was just pounding drinks for days on end. That could very well be it. Or she drank that day, got a little wasted, didn't drink after that, but then drank on this particular day because there was alcohol and other substances in her system, which has moved some of these charges that she got to something more. But obviously that she's not going to be catching these charges right now anymore because of, obviously, you see the thumbnail, you see the title down below. There is no brain activity anymore. All right.
Don't know when it was happened,
Look at
right?
that car.
Like when they recorded that. But
Come on,
what can
y'all.
you tell us about what she said during this podcast?
Yeah, we have a clip of that, Pamela, just a few hours before the fiery crash. Like you said, an episode of Anne's Better Together podcast released. In it, she talks about having a really bad day. And she also jokes about drinking vodka and wine. Take a listen.
Today has been a very unique day. I don't know what happens. Sometimes days just suck.
True.
And I don't know if you ever have them, but some days Mama says are just going to be like this. Some days there's those no good, very bad days. I drove Atlas to tennis and I'm a little bit shaken. Whatever that means, it's not a very exciting story. It's just me up. So I'm drinking some vodka and wine.
Woo! Well, that's not good. She doesn't sound good there. I'll say that. Even if it was 3 days before the crash, she doesn't sound good. I don't know about y'all, but she sounds wasted.
Okay, so that episode of the podcast has been removed from its Apple landing page. I've reached out to Anne Heche's representatives for further comment to find out why was it removed, because it was up there as of yesterday. And was that actually recorded on Friday, or is that just when they released it?
Chloe Malash, thank you for.
Yeah, and of course, like I said, people are saying that the podcast was recorded a few days beforehand that this is not true, that this is not the same day. But like I said, this could very well be just a day where or a week where she just was doing some seriously heavy drinking, right? But you hear that in that podcast. She was wasted. Clearly she was wasted. Okay. Now, obviously we need to look into, man, I hate these daggone things. But there's been new information as of like the past since yesterday. But then, obviously last night there was more information that broke that obviously got us to this particular title down below. So we got to look at this. You know, Anne Heche under the influence of snow. Of course, I have to use these code words. Unfortunately, it's just how the game is. She was under the influence of a drug at the time of crash, and that the reporting of this particular Page 6 article, they're saying that she was in dire condition. Obviously, it has changed drastically present day, okay? But this is what they reported yesterday. So let's take a look at this. She was actually allegedly under the influence of the cocaine and possibly fentanyl at the time of her horrific crash last Friday. So the LAPD sources told TMZ Thursday the actress's blood test results came back positive for both substances. So not only was she under the influence of alcohol, she was also, unless, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I got that wrong. Maybe it was just the C and the F that was just in her system. So the blood test came back positive for both substances. However, the law enforcement insiders cautioned that fentanyl may have been administered to Heche at the hospital to help manage, gotta love that, to help manage her pain after the accident. So they will do more testing to determine whether the fentanyl was in her system when she crashed. Now, we already know, they say that the actress, I stand corrected. She was not under the influence of alcohol. All right. Despite the photo taken shortly before the accident that showed a red capped bottle in her car's cup holder. And it's this photo right here. And that's the thing. Everyone is looking at that particular photo right here. At this particular photo. And you see this red cap. Everyone's looking at that as that's got to be alcohol. That could be vodka. That could be God knows what else. And this was hours before she left, hours before the accident. Okay. It's sad. It's sad. Now, of course, the friends are saying that she's in terrible condition. The smoke inhalation is life-threatening. The friend requested that people please pray for the actress and felt that only God can save her now. But look at that. I mean, this is just. Just look at that, y'all. Just barreled through that car. Barreled through that house. How does that even happen, y'all? That's just crazy. Now, officials escalated their investigation to a felony DUI after the woman whose home Heche crashed into claimed she was injured and needed medical assistance as a result. And of course, this is the photo this is the moment that we all saw that where she just popped up, right? She popped up out from the gurney that you know what I mean? This is crazy, y'all. This is just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, obviously, they Monday, the department had obtained a warrant to test the actress's blood to determine whether she was under the influence of alcohol and or drugs when she plowed in her blue Mini Cooper into a woman's LA home, igniting a massive fire. Later that day, her rep told us she was in critical condition. And again, this is a reporting as of yesterday, because this right here is August 11th at 2:24 p.m. is when Page Six posted this article. Obviously, it's August 12th. It's a whole other day. And now we have new information, which we are going to get to very, very shortly. But I wanted to show you guys this news clip as well. And let me say this, guys, real quick, before we jump into this. Please, kids, don't do drugs. Oh, and kids, don't drink and drive. We're seeing a lot of things lately that have to do with car accidents due to due to alcohol or drug consumption, right? We're seeing people like this Kylie Rodney situation disappearing, during a night of debauchery, kids being irresponsible, trying to have a good time, and a girl allegedly just being taken basically in the middle of the night. We need to be a little bit more careful with these things. So please, guys, for those of y'all who are watching and those of y'all who are ear hustling right now, please drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And say no to drugs. Yes, I went Nancy Reagan on y'all. Say no to drugs. Let's take a look at this.
We begin with breaking news at 11, and word just in that actress Anne Heche is not expected to survive after suffering some serious injuries in a fiery car crash last week. Her family releasing that information tonight. Eyewitness News reporter Amy Powell live at the Grossman Burn Center in West Hills, where the Emmy Award-winning actress has been receiving treatment since that fiery crash. Amy.
Mark, sad news tonight from Anne Heche's family. They're thanking the staff here at Grossman Burn Center for their efforts to save her life, but they do not expect her to recover. Anne Heche has been hospitalized since suffering severe injuries in a solo car crash. Tonight, her family releasing a grim update about her condition, saying in a statement, due to her accident, Anne Heche suffered a severe anoxic brain injury and remains in a coma in critical condition. She is not expected to survive. It has long been her choice to donate her organs, and she's being kept on life support to determine if any are viable.
That's sad. Okay. For any family to deal with some kind of news like that, that's some devastating news, y'all.
Actress was behind the wheel of a car involved in a devastating crash in Mar Vista. Her
There's
blue
that
Mini
footage.
Cooper captured on security video traveling at high speed on neighborhood streets last Friday morning. Moments later, the car veered off the road, flying over a stone wall and plowing into a two-story home, bursting into flames and igniting a fire inside the house. Rescuers pulling her from the wreckage and rushing her to the hospital.
Real quick, let me ask you guys this, because some people I've heard some theories out here. Do you think this was an attempt? You know what I'm saying? Or do you think that maybe she just had a little bit too much? Because there's some people out here that are like, she really was trying to do something else. Or was this her just really elevated? Do you know what I'm saying? Could it be that or no? Okay. Yeah. Cake Stars just said that. I have seen several people speculate that. There's a lot of people that are wondering that. And I'm wondering that as well. Because she just, Nur says, hey, what's up, girl? Her brakes might not work. Who knows? But she was going over 100 miles an hour. It didn't seem, you know what I'm saying? To me, it's just like you're going that fast down the road. No moment of putting your foot off the gas, eventually the car's going to slow down. She was in a residential area going over 100 miles an hour. That's huge, y'all. That's huge. You know? Cassandra K, yeah. Her speed alone gives off the vibe that maybe she had a mental break. Maybe she had a psychotic break. Maybe. But let's play the rest of this. I might put up a poll here in a little bit, but this is still just terrible news.
The 53-year-old actress had a long, highly successful career in film and television.
Vicky, you're always thinking 10 steps ahead. Maybe that's why I trip over myself all the time.
Early in her career, she won a Daytime Emmy Award for playing twins on Another World. A few years later, Heche's film career took off. She had starring roles in high-profile Hollywood movies, including 1997's Donnie Brasco.
You want to know why we went to him?
Wait, and Donnie Brasco has who in what movie? Who in that movie? Just say with me. Johnny Depp. Exactly. Moving on.
I was hoping he could come up with one good reason for me not to leave you because I don't have one anymore.
She appeared opposite
Good movie.
Harrison Ford in the 1998 comedic adventure 6 Days, 7 Nights. In 2020, Heche took a different turn as a contestant on Dancing with the Stars.
It would be an honor to my coach and my partner more than anything to be able to demonstrate how to take this shrew and turn her into a queen.
This statement from the family going on to say she will be dearly missed for her courageous honesty and for her light.
Hello, I'm Mark.
Very, very sad, y'all. This is very, very sad news. This is obviously someone that a lot of people respected. She did some good movies. She contributed to the art of filmmaking and all that, and the art of acting and all that. And now she is no longer here. I mean, there is no brain activity. That's what they're saying. And that's sad. And I know that she's been dealing with her own inner demons. I mean, there's articles out here explaining a little bit more about her background, her upbringing, how she's a survivor. Her father did some really terrible things to herself and her brother, only to later on her father die from HIV. Her brother also died in a car accident at the age of 13, if I'm correct with the age. And I mean, she's dealt with a lot of trauma in her life. And then suddenly this kind of stuff happens. It's very, very sad. It's very, very sad, y'all. You know, it's not good news with what happened to her, but at the same time, whether you are a fan of her work or not, I mean, I loved her in Donnie Brasco. Donnie Brasco is one of my faves. You know what I'm saying? It's a great movie, and she did a fantastic job with that movie. But what's so sad about this is, you obviously you never know when you're going to go. But you hope that you go when you're around with your family, people holding your hand, being with you. And it's just so sad that this is the way that this talented woman crossed over. It's terrible. All right. Yeah, hold on. I know somebody said something earlier about Ellen DeGeneres, and I saw her say something about the accident. They were asking about her. And so let me pull this up too, because I think that's important. And then we'll get to the ultimate thing. And do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Send it past 1,000 likes if you don't mind. Let it hit 1K. That would really mean a lot. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. All right. And of course, I got that super chat. I got the locals. I got Patreon. I got the Cash App, and I have that join button. So, if you want to support in any way, be greatly appreciated. So let's take a look at this. This is what apparently Ellen DeGeneres did break her silence on the Anne Heche crash and hospitalization. It's been more than 20 years since Anne Heche and Ellen DeGeneres were in a relationship, and while both have had successful careers of their own since then, for many, the two will likely always be connected. For the reason many have probably been waiting to see if Ellen made any public comments on the wild car accident Heche is recently involved in. Now she has, and while Ellen didn't say much, she made it clear she hopes Anne Heche is okay. She was, of course, Ellen was approached by a paparazzi photographer who asked her if she had spoken with Anne Heche since the accident, which seems unlikely since reports say that she's in a coma. She was in a coma, okay, and has yet to regain consciousness. In a clip posted by ET, Ellen is clearly not interested in talking with the man, but does say that she doesn't keep in regular contact with Anne Heche. But of course, she said in her own words, we're not in touch with each other, so I wouldn't know. I don't want anyone to be hurt. Interesting. That's interesting. I don't want anyone to be hurt. That's all she said? Wow. Okay. Okay. That's a little strange, don't you think? Interesting. Okay. Now, I mean, obviously there's some speculations and stories about it, Ellen and Anne Heche, and people were speculating that maybe Anne Heche was using Ellen to bump up her career, because obviously Ellen DeGeneres is Ellen DeGeneres, for crying out loud. So when they were together, Anne Heche they're saying, oh yeah, I'm out, I'm gay, so on and so forth. They were together for 3 years. And obviously during that time, Ellen DeGeneres was on her own sitcom. I mean, she was blowing the F up, right? And then interesting, very, very interesting. But this says, okay, Ellen was a major sitcom star in the late 90s. All right, late 90s with the highest profile act. And was the highest profile actor to come out at the time, making the whole thing a major media focus. Heche has made some comments since then that has that she was blackballed by Hollywood due to the relationship. This includes a story that Heche has told that she needed Harrison Ford's help to save her role in their romantic comedy 6 Days and 7 Nights. Huh. But and I know that, yes, like I said, there are speculations that Anne Heche was using Ellen DeGeneres, and then they broke up, and then it's almost like, I guess, allegedly, Anne Heche became straight again. I mean, I just think she's bisexual. No big deal, right? But at that time, they were thinking that she was faking being a lesbian so that she could ride on Ellen DeGeneres' coattails. And maybe Ellen DeGeneres feels that way. Feels like that too. I don't know. But this reaction, this quote is very weird. Okay. We're not in touch with each other, so I wouldn't know. I don't want anyone to be hurt. So I guess that, their relationship did not end very amicably. All right. So there's that. Okay. But we got to get into this last piece, and the main event, the devastating news about all this, because this is This is no bueno. Well, she's on life support. And the life support will be turned off after the brain dead actress has her organs checked for donation. Families say she will be remembered for her courageous honesty and will be dearly missed. So, Anne Heche has officially been declared brain dead and will be taken off life support after suffering a brain injury in a fiery Los Angeles car crash last week, her friends and family have said. She was in a coma and was in critical condition. She will stay on a ventilator to determine whether, excuse me, any of her remaining organs are viable to be donated. And of course, this is per Anne Heche's wishes. Anne, who's been hospitalized at the Burn Center in West Hills Hospital, north of Los Angeles, suffered a severe brain injury in this car crash. And now they're saying this injury is caused by a sustained lack of oxygen to the brain. But it's so interesting because you see something, right? You saw the footage of her kind of pop up, right? She popped up after that car accident. They pulled her out of that burning house, that messed up, dented, burnt car, and she popped up. Literally right there. See, right there. She popped right up. Boing. You know what I mean? Even the helicopter guy, you know what I mean? But sitting there going, what? Surprised, right? So I'm surprised. And now it's lack of oxygen to the brain. And of course, they're looking to donate some of her organs if some of them weren't badly burned. And now we're here. And I guess it makes it now we're up to date to a certain extent. I'm seeing some other people are saying that she's gone. Oh, wow. Whoa, hold up. Now you got me Googling. Hold on, love. Hold on, lovies. Hold on. I mean, this is just 7 minutes old. Okay, let's take a look at this. She is now passed, allegedly. And this is coming from /film.com. I don't know this article or this website, so I don't know how accurate this is. Wait, I saw something from I've Got Words, and yeah, so that can happen in seizure. Oh, okay. So maybe something happened. And Amy Nanos just said that she passed away. So that's very interesting to me. So yeah, news just broke in UK. Tracy just said, "Dag nab." See, I'm looking it up. Let me hold on. Let me make sure. I mean, this is what they're saying right now. You see it. Let me make sure you guys. Yep, it's up there. You see it right there. Allegedly, she has passed. Like now, she is literally now gone. Not just brain dead. Let me see here. Hold on. I mean, hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm still looking. Okay. I got another one. It's a little bit more. This is a little bit more. So this is breaking right now as we speak. She has officially passed on. So there it is, y'all. May she rest in peace. That's terrible news. So she has literally been, as of the recording of this show right now, live. We're learning right now live that she has officially crossed over. All right. She has been pulled off of life support. So she has died after life support was turned off a week after her fiery crash in Los Angeles. Her death was announced by a friend, Nancy Davis. Showbiz 411 reported she was in a coma and in critical condition after this accident that happened on August 5th, which we already know. She remained on ventilator to determine if any of her remaining organs are viable to be donated per Heche's wishes. This is the last photo that we have hours before, about 3 hours before this car accident, before she drove her car into a house, and the house or the car caught on fire, which obviously caused the house to go up in flames as well. And so now she fought for her life for 7 days until today, until just recently. She is now no longer here, guys. Again, she has been in some really, really great movies. She had a very, very high-profile relationship with Ellen DeGeneres. She is somebody who supported Johnny Depp during his trial. She was in a movie that she co-starred in a movie with him called Donnie Brasco. Again, I know I'm repeating myself, but it's one of my favorite movies, and I think she did a fantastic job in that movie. She did deal with a lot of her own inner demons. She suffered and survived a lot of trauma in her life. And, there must have been, or clearly there was some sort of substance abuse in her past that maybe turned this back on, maybe triggered her, which caused her to do what she did. She was 53 years old, y'all. 53. That's sad. But may she rest in peace. I want to show you guys, I want to show you guys this a little bit because obviously there's a little bit more about her life and all that as well. Really quick. Now, and this is just a little bit of a background, just so you understand who she is, what she came from, the kind of trauma she dealt with, what she suffered, and all that as well, just so you guys can get an idea. So, tragic family history of Anne Heche. Her father AR'd her as a kid. He then died of AIDS, triggering her brother to unalive himself by driving into a tree. Before her sister passed away of cancer, and her mother says she's going, and her mother told her that she was going to hell for being a lesbian. Have mercy. And that's just the title, y'all. Talk about trauma. Talk about some serious trauma. Okay? But Anne Heche has been open in the past about her difficult childhood and the abuse she suffered at the hands of her father, a Baptist minister and choir director. Heche says her schizophrenic, sexual deviant father gave her, I'm just going to blow this up so you guys can see this. Gave her the genital gift that keeps on giving. It's right here. After forcing her on all fours and doing what, the R-ing her, unfortunately. He was one of the first people in the United States to be diagnosed with AIDS. After emerged, he lived a secret life as a homosexual. He succumbed to the virus in 1983 when the actress was 14. Following his demise, her mother began a lifelong religious crusade against homosexuality and admonished her daughter multiple times for her sexuality. Heche has criticized her mother for allegedly allowing her daughter to be aid. Months after her father's demise, her brother died when he plowed his car into a tree. I know I'm repeating that again, but that is some serious. He plowed his car into a tree. That is some serious ish. Don't you? I'm saying, yo, is that a pattern or no? Is that a pattern or no? She just took her car and drove into a house. And I know this is speculation land, but isn't that strange? Her brother passed away the same way. That's so sad. Now, the last piece here is Heche has said in multiple interviews that she has no plans to reconcile with her mother, who is now 85, but she has begun to build a relationship with her only living sibling, Abigail, who I'm assuming, no, that's not it. That's not her. So she has another sister by the name of Abigail. So two siblings of hers, a brother who crashed his car into a tree, a sister that died from cancer. She had a father that was extremely like a monster, doing terrible things to these kids. He dies of AIDS. A mother who does not support her because she came out as gay. That's a lot. That's a lot to take in, y'all. That's a whole lot to take in. I think I got a couple super chats. Let me get into this. And yes, it is confirmed. She has passed away. It is official. It is official right here. Breaking news right here on the Pascal Show. She has died from the complications from this car accident. She was announced brain dead as of the start of this show. All right. When I started reporting this show, they said that they were going to pull her off life support, and now they have done so, and now she has passed on. Just so you guys know. So sad. So sad. That's so sad. Let me get this here. Okay, Welsh, thank you so much for the 10 pounds. I really do appreciate it. My nephew died, crashed into a tree. He was 23 years old, and baby on the way. Oh, my condolences. All right. Seriously, my condolences to that. That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. All right. I mean, he had so much going for him, you know? And it's the same thing with Anne. She had a lot going for her. She was doing a podcast. She was working on another project for, I have to use this code word, but I have to use it, for Rush Hour. She has literally, this project is pretty much done. Everything's in the can. I think they're in post-production right now. She was basically a part of this huge project for that. And now that is, she won't be able to see the end of, she won't be able to see the finished product of this particular project. And that's really sad. Really, really sad. Yeah. And T on here. Thank you so much. Yes, if you look right here on the screen, you can see it with your own two eyes. We're reporting that right now. She is no longer here. She has passed as of the recording of this show, which is sad, you know? Thank you so much for the 5, Mary. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate and admire the level of respect you show in your reporting. Thank you. I appreciate you appreciating the respect. Real talk. Thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, this is so sad. Wendy, I'll say that here. I'll let you know here in a little bit. This is just so sad. Andrea, thank you so much for coming in all the way from Popcorn Planet. I appreciate it. But again, this is some very, 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 very sad news. Because this is not how it should have gone down, right? And this is why I keep saying, I urge you guys seriously, God knows what was going on. This is what's so frustrating, because we haven't heard anything from anyone saying that she was that she came off like she was in dire straits. Maybe she was upset. Maybe she was mad. Did she show any signs of anything aside from having some substance in her body that wasn't alcohol? Where's the other information? How did this happen? What led her to drive 100 miles an hour down the road? And I know that there's some people out here that are thinking maybe it was the brakes weren't working. But 100 miles an hour says something. 100 miles an hour says something. Lazy Millennials just said it was a hit job. I don't know about that, because if it was a hit job, let me keep it real with y'all. We just saw in the very beginning the video. She's getting pulled out on a gurney, and she pops up and she's like grabbing the firefighter, because obviously she's disoriented. She probably doesn't know what's going on. She was alive. If it was a hit job, why would she still be alive? You see what I'm saying? And they would have reported something like, if something else had happened to her, if there was other bruises or cuts or maybe GSWs, gunshot wounds, they would have said something. So if it was a hit job, the hitman did a terrible job. Terrible job. Welsh, thank you so much for the £5. I appreciate it. And my other nephew was born with just half a kidney, and he was giving oh wow, 17-year-old who died in a motorbike crash. How life works. That's wild. That's wild. It is that, but it's true. I mean, it's wild that one person's death can actually extend another person's life or save another person's life. And so I commend her. If there were any organs that could be salvaged in this, I commend her for being an organ donor and willing to try to help save somebody else's life. I will say that too. But if it was a hit job, I don't know about that, y'all. I don't know, And Z's vision, yes, I agree. Sure, check them, But something says, something to me just feels like there's a little mental health issue going on here. Chris Dudden, there it is. Mental illness has effects on judgment. Her circle could have put more energy. Her circle could have put more energy, and may have rejected discipline. I think that's what you're trying to say. Circle could have put away PC and intervened. There are a lot of people out here that do hide their depression or hide their unhappiness in plain sight. They have a smile on their face, or they'll joke about it, how much they've had a bad day, like she said in that audio that we just listened to a little bit ago. and they'll sit there and just say it in a fleeting type of attitude, very dismissive, whatever, and they'll make the joke. They'll make it a joke. And so all of us will instantly go, oh, okay, if it's a joke, yeah, she's having a bad day, but okay, she's being flippant about it. She's being, nonchalant about it. So it's no big deal. So instantly we automatically do that. So not every single person looks at that and goes, wait a second, is everything okay? Are you going to get behind the wheel of a car and do something terrible? Sometimes we just hear it and go, yeah, I get it. It's been a really crappy day today too, or whatever. And then you move the F on. A lot of people show their depression or their unhappiness in very strange ways, or they hide it. Some people are very incognito with their unhappiness, right? Clearly something was up, or, because 3 days before allegedly 3 days before she did a podcast, she said, I've just had a really bad day. And she was just drunk, right? Now, that really bad day could have turned into a really bad couple days, could have turned into a really bad week, potentially. Because 3 days later, she's doing a couple lines, gets behind the car, and then this happens, right? So God knows what people knew or people didn't know. But this is why I urge people to be a lot more transparent when they're dealing with certain things. Because she consumed. I mean, let's be real. She could have been having just a really great day and just did a couple lines and something bad happened. That literally could have been what it was. But it seems interesting that her brother passed in the same fashion. That does bring up or spark up a little bit that just sparks questions. Just saying. J Bone, thank you so much for the comment on YouTube. As a person who struggled with my own thoughts, I definitely am good at discussing my low moments. Exactly. And I'm not sitting here saying that she's not. You can't forget the power of being alone, or the moments that you are alone, especially when you're in a car or you go and do something. A lot of times it's not like we're with somebody 24/7 holding our hands, making sure that we're going to be okay, that we're not going to do anything crazy. Shoot. You get into a car and, you go to the bathroom and take a dump. You're by yourself. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things can happen. A mental break can happen like that. Okay? It's terrible, y'all. It's absolutely terrible. In fact, let me fix this. Let me fix this real quick. But like I said, anything is any of those small moments of solitude. That's what I was trying to say. Never underestimate those moments of solitude, because those moments of solitude, shoot, people do a lot of stuff. People can do a lot of things. I mean, it takes 2 seconds to make a decision to do what she did, or to be a part. Not saying she. You know what I'm saying, okay? I'm just changing the thumbnail really quick, guys, so that you guys can, because I know a lot of people are starting to file in and they're like, wait, no, you're wrong. We're just finding all this out live as we're going live, okay? But, you can sit there and tell somebody, yeah, I'm good, man, I'm good. And they're like, okay. Like, I love you, brother. I love you, man. Like, yeah, I love you too. And then they leave. That time of solitude, things can happen. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Anything is possible. All we know right now is that this young woman, this young actress, has passed due to this car accident, this terrible car accident. I thought that maybe she was going to survive, because the way, when I first saw that video, when I first saw the Skycam video and how she popped up like that, I was like, oh, she's going to be okay. I'm sure she's going to have a couple cuts and bruises and some burns and all that, but she's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. And then all of a sudden, things turned for the worse. So that's really, really sad, y'all. Really, really sad. I'm gonna open up the chat line real quick, because I'd love to hear what you guys think about this new breaking news about Anne Heche passing on. They pulled the plug. She was on life support. They said that there was no brain activity. She was declared brain dead, and she is now gone at the age of 53. And of course, she's had quite the career. Quite the career. Hold on. Come on. Why won't this? Okay, there we go. Come on. This doggone thing. This thing is being crazy. Hold up. Sorry, guys. Make sure I'm not on crack here.
The best way to burn fat and get shredded.
The best way to burn fat. There it is. Okay. Now it's pinned to the top. Okay, guys. So please do me a favor. Hit that StreamYard link up above. You don't have to be on camera. You can easily just do a voice call on it as well. Love to hear your thoughts. Love to hear some new voices as well. But like I said, this information is still extremely, extremely sad. And of course, it's just crappy to have somebody, that you watched, that you appreciated their work on camera, to no longer be around anymore in such a fashion like this is just sad. It's extremely, extremely sad. And I know that there's a lot of people thinking and speculating and, ruminating with ideas and thoughts and theories and all that. But I'd love to hear what you guys think, about this information, Spunky1, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Haters, stop judging. No one knows what she was going through. R.I.P. And Amy. Whoa. And Amy, Popcorn Planet loves you. Yes. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Absolutely. You're right. We don't know. We do not know. I'm hoping that we find out more information. That somebody else was there and maybe has more information. But it's still just devastating, It's just devastating. Devastating. But like I said, we got that link up above. Love to hear your thoughts. Love to hear what information. Oh. Sorry, guys, just got something. Hold on. Fair enough. So yes. Not great news, guys. We got Agro Vixen. Hey, Ner, what's up? Can you hear us? Can you hear me? Ner? Hello? Okay, I'll come back to you. Real life leaving.
How you doing?
Man, chilling. How you doing, man? You are on the mic. Where are you calling in from?
Virginia.
Oh, right on, man. Well, appreciate you coming on. So tell me, what are your thoughts?
Well, I just want to let you know I appreciate you also as well. And I'm just wondering if if she was just wanting this to happen. Is it something medical, or did the throttle stick in the car?
You know, that's a good question too. I don't know. Like, and that could be it too. I don't know. You know, this whole
There's no signs. There's no signs she hit her brakes.
Say that again. I'm sorry. What?
There was no signs that she hit her brakes.
No signs that she hit a brake. Oh man, that's terrible. And if that is true, you know what I mean? That's terrible, terrible news. I mean, yeah, like I said, it's just crappy. The whole situation is just crappy. You know what I mean?
It definitely is.
Yeah, you know, we don't know. And that's the thing. It sucks. She's just, you know, a talented woman, did her thing, and now she's, you know, she's no longer here. It's terrible, man. Man, it's crazy. And yes, of course, there's theories out there going out the wazoo right now on what could have gone down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely is, and it seems like after this whole COVID situation, everybody's depression or mental health has really showed its face.
Right. That too. You know, it's yeah. There's a lot of questions, man. There's a lot of questions. You know what I mean? And the possibilities are endless, right?
Yeah.
But you know, I just keep saying, hey, you know, just if you can, if you can help it, you know, try not to be under the influence, or try not to do drugs. You know,
Most definitely.
but real life leaving. I appreciate you coming on. All right, I got a couple other people. So
Appreciate you, Pascal. Much love and respect, and have a good day.
thank you too, man. Peace. Follow the grain. Hold up. Follow the grain in your own wood. Okay. What's up? You on the mic? Hello.
Hello there. How are you?
Oh, you sound very, very far away.
Okay, let me fix that.
Whoops. Let me see what I can do here. You sound very far away, but I'm going to try to turn you up here.
Is this better?
Oh, yeah, better. Yeah, better. Much better.
You might want to turn that back down.
Oh, I did. So what are your thoughts on this news? This is devastating news, y'all. Like seriously, some seriously devastating news. But what are your thoughts about this?
It's very, very heartbreaking. What happens to certain people? Sometimes unspeakable things happen that drive them to find solace, and they start doing drugs. Now, I know that's not proven, but I think she's pretty much admitted she's had some issues, and it's just sad that other people weren't looking out for her more.
Yeah. I mean,
we can't blame anybody. She's a grown woman. We all make our own choices. But at what point does someone reach the level of just letting someone? I don't even know. I'm not shocked. I didn't know her. I wasn't a huge fan of her. But things like this, people need to take mental health more serious before it gets to this level. Drug addiction.
Right.
Before it gets to this point to where, I mean, she literally, people are saying spiraled out of control. Literally, this is what happened at her final moment.
Yeah,
I'm so thankful she did not take others with her. There could have been so many other people injured on the rampage she went on.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing, though. We don't know if it was that or not, right? We don't know that part. If there was that, it could literally have been a moment of she went out, she did a couple, did something. This stuff was in her system, and then this accident happened. And of course, it could have been another thing where she just wanted to, do something. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's just, we're walking down the avenue of speculation, right? And I guess,
yes, and it's off camera when she slammed. I mean, you had to make a sharp turn, no, to hit that house going down the road. I don't know what happened there.
yeah, I personally haven't seen a map of what went down, but yeah, like I said, it's still devastating. And I know a lot of people who are, friends and family of her are obviously extremely rocked by this information, absolutely devastated about this. And I just hope that they do investigate into this situation to find out what really happened with the car, because it could have been a mechanical malfunction. It could have been
she could have had a brain aneurysm that didn't kill her. It happens.
Exactly. So there's, like I said, there's just so much. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just think maybe it's hard not to judge when something like this happens, because you're like, it's such a waste of a beautiful soul. And you can't blame people around her. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to blame family or anything else like that. She's an adult. She made her choices. You can't make somebody want to get help unless they want help. So for those struggling with someone who is in a downward spiral with drug addiction, just surround that person with love and light and hope they make the best decisions possible for themselves.
Right. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's sad news for sure. Definitely devastating news. But follow your grain. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you throwing in your 2 cents. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Love and light to all.
Same. Bye. Fierce Mama Bear. Hello.
Hi, can you see and hear me?
Yes, I can see and hear you. Where are you calling in from?
Houston, Texas.
All right. Thank you so much for calling all the way down from Texas. So what's your thoughts? Speak on it.
Oh, speak on it. Love your show, channel. I'm about 45, and I just celebrated my 20 years sober.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Just did it. 20 years.
Yes.
I tell my story anytime I can. And first I want to say I'm super nervous, but obviously my heart goes out to everybody that loved her, and I'm legit trying not to cry, but here's the story. I had a traumatic history from birth. And I'm adopted. So with my birth sister, we were adopted together at 4 and 6. And our adopted family was, physically and emotionally abusive. It was the 90s. You got to use the belt and all that kind of control stuff. And my life was just tragic. And I turned to alcohol, about 15 or 16, because my dad was an abusive alcoholic, and I would start swiping beers and drinking in the bathroom or in the closet. And it's just spiraled out of control. And cut to, I got a DWI that I do remember. I was getting blackout drunk, and I lived in Austin, Texas at the time, which is a what's it called? Like, you get no shots in Austin. They don't play with DWIs. Houston, they play. It's like the highest rated DWI death state I think in the world, legit. But at the time I was, no tolerance. That's the law in Austin. And so I got my DWI and I was on probation and didn't care. Kept drinking, kept driving. I'm talking blackout drinking. It was a mess. It was a disaster and nobody was around me except my dog. So sad. And then 2 months later, I got another DWI while I was blackout drunk driving the wrong way on the highway. Facts. And they gave me 2 months in what's called work release prison. I was like 21 and my birthday is 9976. So it was 9/9/1999. I was supposed to turn 21 on that day and celebrated in prison because I made terrible choices. My mental health was just a joke and they sent me to prison for 2 months. You stay there, you go to work 9 to 5, you make that money, you give it back to them. It cost me over $10,000, lawyers, all that. I could have taken an Uber and had a friend tell me not to drive home, but that never happened, not at one time. Did my work release and they made me go to AA. They made me take I'm sorry if I'm talking too long. I'm almost done.
No, you're good.
They made me take all kind of classes and all kind of education there and outside of there. And I was on probation for a year. I didn't have a license. I had a cabbie, luckily, and Austin's like really small, 30 minutes from one side of town to the other. So cabs weren't terribly expensive, and I had a guy because I'm a girl in my 20, 20, 21, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 years. Anyway, the final straw for me was I went to a required thing that was like called victim impact panel, where 3 parents of children that had died because of my actions. Nobody ever got hurt when I drove, myself and nobody else.
Right.
I pray to God, and not God, but all the powers above that be, that I got right and nobody got hurt. So I went to the work release and there were 3 parents that, told their stories, shared their photos, and lost their most precious things in the world because of people struggling with mental health. Mine had to be obvious, and people struggling with addiction. But 20 years sober, and you can get right and you can get better. And I actually don't do AA. It's not for me. I'm a loner. I'm a girl that stays in my bubble. And there's a lot of crazy people when you're 21 that go to AA. So I just didn't go. And luckily, I got right. And I'm married. I'm healthy. I'm functional. I have a baby girl that's 14 now and going to high school, and unfortunately she struggles with mental health because that's the way it works, but we're taking her to programs and people, and we're going to get better.
That's
so
great.
That's
go ahead. I'm sorry, you were going to say?
You got like it originally you said speak on it. Every time I have the chance I speak on it.
No, of course. Well, first off, I want to say, I commend you tremendously for having the guts to get on here first off. But and this is, coming on here and talking is one thing, but for the fact that you've had 20 years of sobriety and that you basically did this on your own, fought through it, worked on it, and they say I forgot the phrase, like if you work on it, it'll work. I forgot what trust the process or something like that, or I don't know, stick with the plan or whatever it is. It works.
It's AA, something like if you work. Yeah, you're right. I don't know what it is either. If you work on it, it'll work for you. It'll work if you work with it. It'll work for you.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
And so I commend you tremendously for having, seriously having the balls to just get through it, because there's not a lot of people that have that same success story. So the fact that you've done 2 decades like this, says a lot about your character and a lot about your spirit, you know? And those are the kinds of stories that people need to hear more often, right? You know, so I appreciate you just coming in and saying that. And there's a lot of people in the chat right now that are saying, you know, thank you so much for telling you know, for opening up and telling us this and speaking on this side of things, because there is light at the end of that dark tunnel, you know, whether it is drug or alcohol or mental health or any of those things, any of the things that we battle, you know, it goes beyond just substance as well. It's all about here and what's going on in that brain of ours, you know, and being able to push through. So seriously, fierce mama bear.
I know it was.
You know, I give you mad props.
I've been on here before and I can't remember the story, but obviously it was related to it had to have been related to some beautiful young girl spirit that was, you know, so it was already on there when I checked in as fierce mama bear. I was like, that's right. I'll just leave it like that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Again, I appreciate you hopping on and giving us that side of things, because I know that we're all reacting, we're all emotional, we're all hearing about this information, which is very, very sad, but it's also good to hear some stories of just being able to persevere. And it sounds like that. It's perseverance, you know, being courageous and perseverance.
I have never gotten through life without sarcastic, like even morbid humor. So I'm going to tell you a really quick story and then I am done. And thank you so much, people in the chat. I can't see you. I can't read you right now. And thank you for taking my call. But so I've been married for 20 years as well. And I met my husband while I was on a relapse. I relapsed at 5 years. And I was going to this local dive bar that was like close. So I didn't drive home and I walked. And I met this dude on Christmas Eve. I was there, pathetic, rolling cigarettes because I was a little bit of a hippie, you know, and liked the bartender. 3 months later, the bartender offered and gave me a drink, and we fell in love and were married within like 3 months. And he is still a bartender. And I got sober within like a couple months because I was like, this dude is everything. Everything. If I am going to keep him, I got to get right again. And I got right again, and he still works in a bar. There's never been alcohol in my home, and the struggle is real.
Yeah,
but it's crazy how life works. You know, met my husband in a bar while I was doing that nonsense, but here we are, 20 years later, and yeah, okay.
You know, I do believe everything happens for a reason. Real quick, Fierce, before you take off, I do believe everything happens for a reason, and maybe because of that, it's just you know, that's being put in front of you as a challenge to keep staying the course and still staying courageous and being, and just like I've said a second ago, persevering and just staying within your own integrity. And so the fact that you are still doing that after 20 years says so much. And like I said, people are showing some serious love. So fierce Mama Bear, I really do appreciate you coming on and sharing us a little bit of that, because we all need to hear that silver lining. You know what I mean? So I appreciate
that. And real quick, fierce Mama Bear is just what I put, but in chat, I'm Sunflower Beth. I always have the smiling 3-heart emoji with the peace sign and the sunflower. I've been in your chat for a long time.
Yes, I appreciate you. Thank you, Sunflower. Okay, but I appreciate you coming on. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. All right, Erica Anna.
Hi, hello world. How are you guys doing?
We are chilling. What's good with you? How you doing? Where you calling in from?
I'm calling from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm from Baltimore.
Right on, right on. So what are your thoughts? Speak on it.
I've been looking into this. I used to watch a lot of 90s movies, so I was familiar with Anne Heche, and of course I saw her pop in that one time on your channel, which is like reminding me like, oh, okay, she's a regular person just out here living. And I was deep diving a little bit, and I realized she really has not had any leading roles since that last movie in the 90s. And I'm pretty sure that does play on mental health and all of that. My thing is, and I think what people really should be looking at is this is completely unacceptable. I know that people struggle with mental health issues and all that, but we should really be looking at this in different contexts. If this were a regular human being that we didn't know from the 90s, I mean, public safety was at risk during this.
Yeah.
And I know, like, Robin Williams, he was struggling with a lot of mental health issues during the end of his life. He went out, of course. I don't want to, I guess, get into the details. It's really
Right.
sad. But, Lord knows that would have ruined his legacy if we would have heard that he would have hightailed it in a residential neighborhood and crashed into someone's home. I mean, I don't know how to handle this. It's weird because I do want to feel bad for her, but then I also have to take race into this the conversation. And I know you have you have a diverse group, so I don't want to get too deep into it. But what if it were somebody else? I mean, this is completely unacceptable behavior. But I mean, rest in peace, Anne. It's just that this is not the way to deal with mental health issues. And also, I mean, I just hope, I don't know, like, what type of glorification she's about to get, but this should really be demonized. I mean, driving under the influence, doing drugs of this nature, like the other lady said, I mean, thank goodness no one else went out of this world with her. But I don't know. This is a weird thing to digest. I just wanted to hop on here and give my opinions about it. But
Right.
it's like, I was seeing a few of her last podcasts that she did, and she clearly wasn't living her best life. And I know her previous people in her family committed suicide, so it does run in there too. But it's just like, this is not how you do it, ma'am. I know I am not spreading any positivity right now. I get it.
No. But here it is, though. You're asking questions. You're springing up things that are going on in your own mind, and that's okay. It's okay to ask questions. There's a difference between asking questions and just making ridiculous statements, right? So with what you're saying, I'm gonna put you on mute. There's like some weird clicky thing that's going on. But okay. So real quick, this is what I'm gonna say. As far as race goes, I think that when it comes to this particular, any situation, I think that these kind of moments still transcend the color of her skin, the color of anybody's skin. I feel like everybody was still, if this was Denzel Washington, if this was any other person that is, I'm trying to think of, this was Kerry Washington. All right. Let's just switch it around, right? This is Kerry Washington. This same thing happened. We would still sit here and go, oh my gosh, devastating news. This is terrible. We should all be walking away with this as a learning from this particular situation. It should transcend any race and gender, if you really think about it, because it has to do with possibly mental health. Obviously, there's some sort of substance abuse or substance being used, and that's what we should be walking away from it with, as far as let's not be under the influence when we get behind the wheel of a car. Let's say no to drugs type of thing. I think it would be the same reaction if it was somebody with the same type of career, if not more or less. I feel like it would still be the same reaction. People would still be shocked, still be sad. And it wouldn't be because of, oh, she is a black or white woman or a man. I think it's a thing of, we look at this situation, we look at this story, and we try to do better. That's just what I think on that. But I'm gonna unmute you really quick to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, and I do hear the static. I don't know what that is. Do you still hear it now?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like you're hitting a pen up against your phone or something. I don't know what it is, but
I finally get on the Pascal show and this happens.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm just saying, like, it's just, I get it. I just feel like if it was if the treatment of her was different, you see what I'm saying? Then I can see maybe the throwing in the race card situation, but they pulled her out. They saved her. Due to medical situations, lack of oxygen to her brain, she became there was no brain activity anymore, and now her life support has been unplugged, and that's it. So when
Yeah,
I
I
look
wonder
at
if
this,
it wasn't unplugged, would she have been looking at charges from LA County, sheriff office? I wonder if that would have been a thing. Why, neither here or there. Rest in peace. But
yeah,
I don't mean to sound so bitter. That sounds horrible.
no.
I sound horrible, Beth. These
It's
are
okay.
basically questions. But
I get
okay,
it.
I think that is all I have. I don't know if you're gonna get into the whole Kim Kanye thing. I just love Kanye West. I just love it. Everything that's going on right now. He has redemption right now. I love it. But
Yeah,
other than that,
I haven't covered that yet. And I'm not going to be covering it on this show in particular. But I've been keeping an eye on that stuff. It's